And charged in a crash that killed an Omaha doctor learned his sentence. A judge sentenced Dale Tenick to 60 days in jail, followed by 2 years probation. He's also being ordered to complete 50 hours of community service, and he must abstain from alcohol or controlled substances. Last September, Dr. Mather Lataha was riding his bike north of Valley when he was hit. Tenick previously pleaded no contest to motor vehicle homicide.